All right, good morning, Philosophy 1015, and welcome to week 10. So, this week, in your reading of um, 755, 57, and 59, we're going to be focusing on those creeds and worldviews, in essence, those Christian beliefs about the universe, what constitutes Christian doctrine, and this idea of salvation. And so, what we're going to try to do is obviously build on last week to look at those historical events, those historical figures, and connect them to this worldview, this doctrine, this idea of salvation. And so, in essence, what we're going to do, much like we did in our space about Judaism, is explore Christian cosmology and identify these core doctrines that originate in the early debates about God, Jesus, and humanity's relationship with the divine. And so, we will give our attention to these kind of Christian views of human nature and salvation, and basically how theology shaped the historical context to which we looked at last week. And so we're doing a little bit of like the chicken and egg thing. We're kind of be jumping back and forth, trying to connect what you looked at last week with this week. And so, in essence, right, together, I'm hoping that last week's reading and the reading this week will help kind of illustrate how those major events and those early major thinkers influence the development of the Christian teachings over time, but also how there is an element of like continuity in these teachings, this doctrine, this salvation, but also how there may be a little bit of an evolution in it, depending on the century to which we are looking. Long story short, we are going to really try to lay out that important information that will then help us with next week when we dive into rituals and symbols. All right, so make sure you're doing discussion 9, quiz 9, paying close attention to the ways to which you're responding to the discussions, and then more importantly, keep working on that second exam study guide. As always, I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.